My name is Abbas Malik, and I will be your instructor for this course. In this course, we will be studying Flutter Mobile App Development. Flutter is a Google-supported multi-platform application development environment or framework, which is powered by Dart programming language. Why we call it multi-platform application development environment? Because using Flutter, we can develop the application for the mobile devices powered by Android or Android devices, you can simply say that, or we can build the application for the iPhones powered by the iOS from the Apple. We can also develop the applications for Windows. We can also develop application for Mac. We can also develop application for Linux, and then we can also we can develop application for the web. So that's why we call Flutter a multi-platform application development environment. So if you have not subscribed this channel, then please subscribe it and press on the bell icon. So press on the bell icon so that you can receive the notifications for our new videos. So let's jump into the course. We will be studying the foundation and the Flutter mindset, how we can develop the beautiful and responsive user interfaces, making apps more interactive and dynamic, how we can build the multi-screen experiences. Normally in one applications we have multiple screens, how we can navigate from one screen to the other, and then if we need to pass data from one screen to the other, how we can do that. So we will learn all this here. Working with the real data, real data can come from REST API or the MCP servers. Even we can have the data stored in the local device using the SQLite or the system preferences or the application preferences. We can also connect with the cloud databases like MongoDB or the Firebase. So we will be learning all these data handling in our application here in this course. Then the next one topic is the native device features. Native device features is more like we are trying to access the hardware capabilities of the applications of the devices, mobile devices. We have the Wi-Fi, we can access that thing, how we can check that it is active, it is connected or not. We can look at the camera, the other sensor, the health sensor that we can try to look at the GPS, locate your device in on the map, and then we using those kind of device features, the hardware sensors, we can build some application. For example, if you want to build an application for the step count, so GPS will help us to understand that how we can do that step count application. So we will tap into that kind of features, and we will learn that how we can do that. And then finally we will be polishing and publishing our apps, so we can publish our apps on the Google Play Store or Apple Store, depending on which specific platform we want to target. So these are the main topics that we are going to learn in this course. Next thing, what is a mobile application development? So a process of creating an application for portable devices. Now the question is, what are the portable devices? A portable device is a compact, lightweight computing device that can be easily carried around, like smartphones, tablets, or the smartwatches. And we can use these portable devices for the entertainment. We can play games, we can see movies, we can do some social communication with our friends and family, and we can also use them for the work depending on our requirement. So having said that, let's dive into a little bit mobile device history. So this is more like a mobile phone, which is in 1940s. So it is a car phone which has the transmitter, antenna, and receiver. Then we also need to connect that with the battery, so for the power source. And then we have a telephone units which is on the uh, dashboard of the car, and then the person can call or receive the call from his friends or the business and so on. So this is the first, what you can say that, or the first model of the mobile device, but definitely it is not that what we are looking right now in our world. So here is a transition starting in 1940s. Then later on, Motorola come up with the device, which is quite heavy. It is more like a big, you need to be a bodybuilder to carry it around. And then eventually the size goes down, down, down. Then comes in era of Nokia mobiles, Nokia devices, where we have if we look at on the top row here, uh, in the top row here, you can see that all these devices are more like the AIMS or the analog devices. And later on, when the Nokia comes in, we also have the GSM. So this is more like a digital way of the communication. And then we have very basic functionality. We can call someone or we can receive a voice call. With the GSM, we can also send very short text messages from one mobile to device, or we can receive them back. But in 2007, when the Apple released its first iPhone, that's changed the whole game. Okay, now we have a touchscreen mobile which has the connectivity with the Wi-Fi, and it will give you much more capabilities to do with that mobile device rather than only uh, for device calls or the some short text messages. So that's changed the whole game of the mobile devices, and due to that change, that also make the shift inside the application development environment, because now this is something which is very, for if we look at the traditional mobile devices like Nokia, it is a very basic functionality, the basic programming, and then we don't have much liberty to make the applications. But since 2007 and onward, we the what you can say that the the what you can say, it opens up the possibilities of developing different type of applications, providing different type of services. And since 2007, these devices has become more and more powerful. They also giving you more and more sensors and the hardwares which we can use, and then we can develop the applications. So this is the early days. We can only have the basic functionality. We can have voice calls or contacts or some short messages. In the modern era, which is we right now we're living in, high resolution screens, extensive connectivity. So we can do much more things or functionality. We can perform much more functions as compared to the early days. And the future trends are more like augmented reality, virtual reality, AI, and data analytics. So all these are coming in to the mobile devices. So as we know that mobile devices are the electronic devices, so there are certain operating systems or the systems which are required which power these devices. So we have Android, we have iOS, Harmony from the Huawei, Windows, BlackBerry, Palm OS, Symbian. Android is more like supported or or managed by the Google. iOS is managed by the Apple. So these are the some impacts and the key features that these mobile devices have since 2007. Mobility, connectivity, versatility, digital social life. We are living we are connecting with our friends on the Facebook, WhatsApp, messengers, and so on. So we have a lot of uh, social life applications that help us to connect with our friends and family, video calls and meetings, health management. We can look at our heart rate, how much steps we have taken in one day, how active we have been in the day. So all these uh, can be observed through those mobile devices. Again, productivity and work on the go, games and movies, and then of course our young children or even graduates can use these mobile devices for education and learning. Hardware capabilities of these devices, again, normally we are using the ARM processor, which are high performance and low power processors. The RAM is ranging from 2 GB to 12 GB and maybe more now. Storage, flash memory, SD cards. In the older versions of the uh, mobile phones, they have the SD card so that you can increase the storage capacity of your device. But I think in the current scenarios, these SD cards slots are has disappeared. and the internal flash memories become very, very big. So we are talking about the 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte and so on. We have displays which are again touch screens, sense resistive and the touch sensitive and so on. So these are some hardware capabilities of these mobile devices. Platforms and the languages. So again, we have two main platforms or the operating systems. One is the Android, the other one is the iOS. For the iOS, we have the Swift as a programming language, which help us to build the applications for the iOS or the iPhones. On the other hand, in the Android, we have two different languages, Java and Kotlin. Java is more like an old standard for developing the application for the Android, and the Kotlin is the current standard for the application. So, in the current world, we are preferring that if you want to learn now, it's better that you learn Kotlin and develop the application for the Android rather than using the Java, because Kotlin is more popular and then it will give you more features. In addition to that, we also have some cross-platform application development environments. We have Flutter, we have Xamarin, we have React Native. For Flutter, we use the Dart as a programming language. For Xamarin, we use the C# as a programming language, and React, we are using the JavaScript. So why we are telling them these are the framework for the cross-platform? Because using these frameworks, of course, there are some other frameworks which I have not mentioned here, but these are the one of the very popular frameworks, which are the cross-platform application development environments, in which you can develop the application for both Android and iOS using the one single or the unified code base. So you can use the same code base to build an application for Android, and using the same code and same features and same resources, you can build an application for the iOS. And quite recently, in 2022, there's another cross-platform application environment comes in that is called Flat, and it is built on top of the Flutter. But here you can use the Python as a programming language. Python, you can develop the application using the Python language. So one thing I would like to clarify this in this course, that if we want to build an application for the iOS, then we must have a Mac computer, or the whether it is a Mac or the MacBook Pro or whatever, but it is must have a Mac computer or the Apple computer, so that we can install all the required development tools which are required to build an application for the iOS. If you don't have that Mac computer, then you cannot build. Of course, you need to take the same project which you have developed in Flutter or Xamarin or the React Native. You can take the same code and copy into the USB and put it into a Mac computer. Then you can build it. But if you are on a Windows computer, then you cannot build an application for the iPhone. So this is one big. The reason is that the Apple development tools or the libraries or the software development kits which are required to build an application for the iPhones, they are only available on the Mac, and we cannot install them on the Windows. If we can install them on the Windows, then definitely we can build an application for the iOS or the iPhones. But because we can't, so that's why using the Windows platform, we cannot develop the application for the iPhones. But definitely for the Android, we can develop the application. Where it doesn't matter that you are using the for Windows or the Mac or the Linux, you can develop the application for the Android, no problem at all. So let's, because since 2017, when the Flutter was introduced by Google, um, yeah, it was released as a cross-platform UI toolkit for mobile and web and desktop. At that time, in 2017, it is only for the mobile. Later on, they have added the web and the desktop capabilities. And then the good thing about is that we can use a single code base and the development environment, and then we can develop the application for the Android as well as the iOS. And I will show you today that we can also build the application for the Windows and the web as well. High performance, beautiful UIs. They have Google has provided us a lot of different libraries which we can just out of the box use it. and then we can build the native applications for the Android and iOS. And fast development, again, as I told you, that we can build the application for both Android or iPhone. We can also develop the application for web, desktop, and other screens or the platforms. It is a fast. I mean, we have a single code base which is written in the Dart, and depending on the target, I mean, if we want to target that we want to build an application for the iPhone, then it is converted into the Mac executable or the iOS executable forms. If we are targeting that application for the web, then it will be translated or converted or compiled into a JavaScript code. If we are targeting that in the Intel machine, then it is Intel machine executables. And then if we are talking about a mobile device with an ARM architecture, then it will translate into the ARM executable codes. So we have the single code base in the Dart language, and then it can translate it or it can be converted into the uh, multiple targets depending on what for which specific platform we are building that application. So that is make it fast, and we can build the same app. We can develop only one time, and then we can just compile it for multiple platforms. Productivity, again, build an iterative quickly with hot reload. I will explain you what do you mean by hot reload. Um, uh, just to give you a little bit overview of that, I mean, when we are building an application, and then we can start executing, for example, on a mobile devices, it is running, and then at the same time when this application is running on the mobile device, we can change the code, and then we can quickly see the changes inside our running device, which is a running application, which is running on the mobile device, without the requirement to recompile the whole code and then rerun that application. So we don't need to do that. So if we, for example, if we are talking about a registration form, and that registration form is running on the device, and on a mobile device, and that registration form we have filled the data. So if we make some changes in that registration form, the data is still there. So we, without losing the state of that registration form, we can check the new code that we have been developing. So that is increase our productivity, and that we don't need to restart the application again and again. But just using the hot reload application, we can see the changes that we have made in our code. So that will increase our productivity. Flexibility, of course, it provides you a flexibility control every pixel to create the customized adaptive designs that look feel great on any screen. So it is more like if you are building an application for the iOS, it will look native on the iPhones. If you are building an application for the Android, then it will look native for the Android devices. So that will give us a lot of flexibility. So to before we can do any actual application development, we need to uh, build that environment on which we are going to work. So first of all, I mean, we have the Git installation, then the VS Code. Why we need to Git installation? I mean, if because we will be working on the project, and then if you have multiple people working on the project, then Git version control system will help us to see that who has done what, and then uh, to collaborate by different people, we can do that. VS Code, of course, this is the environment, or this is the code editor that we are going to use in here. Android Studio, we need to do, sorry, we need to download and install. Why I will be discussing shortly, and then later on we will be downloading the Flutter, and then we can. So let's jump into that environment and then see how we can do that. So first thing is, if we open up, and these links has been given in the description of the video, so you can get those links from there. But if we look at that, we can click on the getting started. So here it's telling you install the Git. But what I will do, install the Git first, and then install the Visual Studio. So, but I will just flipping that sequence. I will install the Visual Studio first. So let me quickly go to the Visual Studio. And this is again, the link is given in the code video description. So because I am running that thing, on the Windows, so I will click on the Windows. But if you are having a different operating system, then accordingly you can select which specific installer you want to download and install. So when you click on that, it will start downloading the yep, so it is coming up. So let me quickly go. Say I want to download everything on the uh, so it is downloaded already. So let me quickly open up that folder here. So double click on that. And then it will ask me that, yes, I accept the agreement, click next, select where you want to install the things. Do you want to have the start menu things? Yes. I also want to add these things, you know, when you right click on some file and then you want to open with the VS Code and so on. So yes, I want to do that. I also want to require shell restart and so on. So yes, I want to add that code to so that we can run the Visual Studio Code the from the command prompt or using the command lines argument command line tool commands. So yes, we install it. Let me quickly go back while it is installing. Let me quickly go back, and then the next thing that I want to download is a Git. So again, depending on your it is installing. So we can, based on your operating system, you can decide. Because I am on the Windows, so I will click here, and then accordingly it is giving me the option to download. And when I click on that, again, it's asking me where you want to save that installer. I save it here again in the same. And then if we look at here, so you can see that it has said that, yes, I have finished. So let me do not start that one. I will just finish it, and then we will start it later on. So we have already installed, downloaded the Git. It is, I think, still downloading. It is done, I suppose. Why it is showing me? Yeah, it's done. So let me quickly. It is asking me that, do you, I mean, the Git installer want to make some changes into your system? Yes, we want to allow them. And then we need to say next. Um where you want to install the Git. Yes. And the other thing, and please make sure that these open Git bash here or the Git GUI. So please make sure that you have select that one. And I want to add this Git profile inside the Windows terminal. Okay, that's fine. I say next, and then go next. And then it is asking me that which is the your default editor. So here I will say that I want to use the VS Code as Git's default editor. And I say next, next, next. So we are just selecting the default things, except that I want to install the bash, Git bash, for the command prompt or for the giving the Git command line commands. Okay, and yes, next, next. And then finally we click on the install, so it will start installing. So the next thing, if we look at our code, so we have done the Git, we have done the way, now we need to download the VS Code. So if we look at our here, so again, this link has been given in the video description. So here, when we click on the Android Studio, we need to accept the license or the terms and conditions, and then we can click on the download. When we do that, it will start downloading. And look. He say that I don't want to see anything, but let me launch that Git bash, and we can finish it. So here it is saying that this is the window. This is the installation of the Git bash. So here it's more like, a command prompt, but in this Git bash we can give the commands more like in the Linux or the Mac operating systems. And because I prefer this thing, otherwise you can also use the simple command prompt or the PowerShell in the Windows, which is available. But I prefer to use those commands which are coming from the Mac, and I feel it more comfortable. So that's the only option that, I mean, it is my personal options. If you don't agree with that, then you can use the command prompt to do the same thing whatever I'm doing here. Okay. So again, let's come back to the Android Studio. So it is asking me where you want to download, and this is a big, what you can say, that we need to have 1.3 GB. It will take a little bit longer time. And if I say that we have the ls command to show the directory, but if you are in the Windows, then we have the directory. So and then it will show you that. But in the Mac, we have ls command, and then the good thing about is it is also give you that different folders are shown differently, and the other thing that we can just write the clear command, so it will clear that whole window. So due to that reasons, I prefer to use the git bash. So that's why I have installed that thing with the git. Okay, so this will take a longer time to download the thing, and in the meanwhile we will see that I will pause the video and then we'll come back once this download has finished. So you can see that it's still downloading, and it will 2 minutes left. The download is about to finish, so now you can see that our installation download has finished. So let me double click on the Android Studio and start the installation process. So again, it is asking me that the installer want to make some changes in your Windows computer. So yes, we will allow that thing. And then we will click on the process next. Yes, we want to do that. And then it is started installing the things. We can click on next. We can see the details. Yep, it looks everything fine. And then yes, we want to start the Android Studio. So it is asking me on the other screen that do we want to share our usage with the Google or not? So I say no, I don't want to share that thing. And then it brings up this thing. So now it is asking me to set up that Android Studio setup wizard. So we say yes, we want to go for the standard, no problem. We click on the next, and now it is look at it. It is going to install or download and install the Android emulator. It will also download the Google Play Intel 86 Atom system image. It will also try to install the emulator hypervisor drive, then source for the Android 36, Android SDK platform for 36, Android SDK build tool for 36.1, and so on. So we say yes, we accept all these terms and conditions for all these different type of the SDKs and the tools that we want to download and install. Click on the next, and now it will start downloading and then download and install those things for us. So it is a long process. So I will keep an eye on that process, and then once it's finished, I will come back. So you can see that it is downloading and installing all those tools that we have selected. And during the installation process, if the installer asks you to that this installer is trying to make the changes in your Windows systems, and then of course, please press yes. So now you can see that it has installed everything successfully. There is no error or something. So when we click on finish, then it will start that Android Studio for us. So right now, what we want to do, we want to check our SDK manager. So if we look at that, we have installed this one. If we want to install more things, I mean, we can also install 30. So we have installed 36.0, but if we want to install any other SDKs or the older versions of that one, then we can just select that one and then we can click on the apply. But definitely we don't want to do right now. SDK tools, Here in the SDK tools, I want to have two things ready. Number one thing, okay, only one thing, let's see, and that is the Android SDK command line tools, which we need so that we can communicate from our VS Code environment to these Android Studio environment and use all these SDK and the tools that we have installed using the Android Studio. So we select that thing and then we click OK. When we click OK, of course, it will need to download and install that command line tools. So it will start the downloading and installing it. Hopefully, it will not take too long. Yeah, it's all done. Let's finish. And the next thing that I would like to see here in the Android Studio is the virtual device manager. So what is a virtual device manager? During the installation, it has already installed one virtual device. If we want to add more, then we can click on the add and create a new virtual devices. But right now, let's see, we want to run this device. And when you click on the play button here, it will starting up that device. So it is coming on my other screen. So if I bring it here, so now it is actually has created a virtual mobile device. And now it is setting up that specific device for me. So while this device is being set up, let's go back to our slides. Where are these slides? So here are the slides. So we have downloaded the Git, all done. VS Code, all done. Android Studio, all done. Then we need to download the Flutter. So for that one, we need to go for the Flutter application. So this is our setup page in which we can do all the setup. And if you look at here, Flutter install Flutter. When we click on that and then expand that thing, then we have install manually. So when you say install manually, based on the operating system, if you are using the Mac, Linux, or the whichever operating system you are using, accordingly it will change. So if you look at that, it has changed the things for us. So right now we are on Windows, so we click on that, and then what it will do, it will ask me where I want to download that specific zip file that contain all the Flutter tools and things. So when I do that, then again, it will take a longer time because it's a 1.7 GB. So let's see our Android app virtual device. So you can see that our Android virtual device is up and running now. So we will let it run. And then in the meanwhile, we will look at that. And the other thing, let's start our VS Code. Okay. So we can say VS Code that we have installed. And I bring it up here. And then we can just say that using the AI features, choose the theme. Okay, and then I would prefer which one? The dark high contrast. I think this one is fine. Go to the next section. Then it is asking me if you want to do anything here. Let's keep the things here like that. And mark done. All good. So the other thing that in the inside the Visual Studio Code, I need to open the extensions, and then here I need to the extension Flutter. So I just search Flutter, Flutter, and I think that will be the first thing. If we click on that, yes, we want to install that thing, and then we can, yes, we trust and install the publishers. So it will start installing that specific Flutter. So actually, it will add two. What you can say that extensions inside the VS Code. One is a Flutter, the second one is the Dart. Because Flutter is based on the Dart programming language. So automatically when you install Flutter, it automatically installs both of these Flutter and the Dart extensions for the VS Code. And let's go back and see if our download has finished. Yes, our download has finished. So let's open up our download folder. So now what we want to do here, it is the it is recommended that you may unzip that specific Flutter framework files and tools into the user and the here in your home page of the user. So you can create a new folder here, and normally we say give it a name as a development, but rather than having that specific uh, having all that Flutter informations here, I want to put that into the C column. So I want to put that one here. Okay, and then in this folder, I would like to what you can say that let me delete it first. I mean, I don't want to have anything here right now. So it is downloading. And so all done. So we will just create a new folder here, give name as a development, and then inside the development folder, we are going to unzip this Flutter tools. Okay, so we will say extract, and then we would say that, oh, I want to browse, go to the C, and then inside the development, select this folder, and then we will start extracting. Okay, so let's go back while it is extracting everything in the C colon slash development. So let's go back to our VS Code and see that installation has been done. So just to make sure that everything is working perfectly fine, let me restart the VS Code so that everything, I mean, if it need to apply some changes, then it can apply on that. So let's looks good. Uh, the other thing that I would like to say, Control Shift P, that's the command palette. So if I say Flutter, so it's a new project. So when I click on that, it say that I want to, do you want to download the SDK? We already downloaded and it is in the process of unzip. So what we will do, we will, once it is finished the unzip at that specific location, this is the C colon slash development, then we can say that we want to locate that locate that and then we'll give that location where we have the Flutter tools. Okay, so that's we will do we will do later. And let's come down here. Hopefully it will finish soon. So yeah, the Flutter has been unzipped at the specific location where we have told. And the next thing that we need to do here is to set up the environment variable inside the Windows. So what I can do here, if I just we need to open up the I mean, I press on the Windows and then I say variables, and then it will ask me to edit the windows. So we will need to open up that one. So let me quickly do that. Now you can see my windows. No, if I just try to minimize, or maybe I just need to uh, do here. So I will just want to show you that we have a variable, and then it is actually showing me that edit environment system variable. So when I click on that, and I need to go into open up this window, and then I need to click on the environment variables. And the other thing that I would be say using that one. So this is the environment uh, we have a Flutter, and then we have a bin. So in this folder, we have the Flutter tool, we have a Dart tool, which help with the command line applications, which will help us to run the commands. So I copy that the location or the address of that specific folder, and then I come back to my path. So we can we can set the path for the user only one user, or we can set the path for the whole system. So we will select that path for the system variables, edit it, and then we say we want to add a new path here, and then we copy paste that specific path that we have just copied, and that C colon slash development slash flutter slash bin, and we click OK, and then we click OK, and then we click OK. And the other thing that remember that this bash is already running, so let me close it and then rerun it again. So bash git bash, so git bash application. So now it has been run. So let me quickly start my slides again. So we have installed the Git, we have installed the VS Code, installed the Windows Studio, we have downloaded the Flutter, and we also have set up the environment variable. The next thing that we need to check is that we need to check that if that Flutter installation has been successful or not. So let me quickly go through the options so that we can increase the size of that. So let me select 18, and if we say save it, and then you can see that. So now it is more visible towards you. So what I need to do, I need to run the command flutter dash dash version. So because we are running that command for the first time, so it look at that build tool running the pub upgrade. It is trying to specify, getting the dependencies. So it is setting up that specific environment. So if you see that thing, it means the things are getting it's good, and it is trying to set up that specific environment for us. So now you can see that we have the Dart of language which has been installed with the version 3.10.1. We have a Flutter which has been installed, and then the version is 3.38.3. We also have dev tools and so on. So we can also check Dart dash dash version. So if we do that, so we also get, so I can just clear this thing. And now I want to run one more command to check what you can say, that the validity of the Flutter. So we are, everything is set properly. So we have a Flutter, and then we have a doctor which tell us that the Flutter installation has been successful or not. So if you look at that, it says Flutter channel stable, Windows version okay, and then it is trying to check with the Android tools, and then we have some issue here. So it is asking us that there are certain specific Android licenses that we need to accept. So if we need to run the command flutter doctor dash dash Android dash licenses, so we can copy that specific here, and then we can paste here, and let me run it. No, it's so I need to say Flutter, then we have doctor dash dash Android dash licenses. So when I click on that, run this command, it is asking me, you want to review the license? Yes. Okay. Accept it. Yes. Accept it. Yes. Accept it. Yes. Accept. So I'm accepting all those licenses. And once it is done, so if we run one more time, the Flutter, not this one, it is already done. We need to run the Flutter doctor command. And now you can see everything is green except that Visual Studio, because we are using the Visual Studio code, not the Visual Studio. So we can simply ignore that specific problem or the warning that has been given by the doctor. So we are all set. And now what we can do, we can come to our Visual Studio code. And now again, we can say Control Shift P to open up that command palette. And then we can say that we want to create a Flutter new project. When you click on that, it say that locate that specific Flutter tools. So we have these Flutter tools on the C drive. We click on that, development, and then Flutter. So we have the Flutter install SDKs folder here. So we select that Flutter folder, and VS Code extensions. Okay, well, let me do it again. Hopefully it is working. Okay, and here, this one. Yep. So now you can say, as long as he's quickly identify the Flutter tools, it is giving me the option which specific you want to create a package, or you want to plug in, you want to make a module, but we are want to make an application. So when you click on that, it say that where you want to install that specific, where you want to create that project, okay, or the application. So in my case, I will be stick to that specific uh, location inside this code, and then I see select this code, and now it is asking me that you can give the name of the, so I would say first underscore Flutter underscore app. So we are giving the name of that project or the application that we want to develop. When we press enter, based on yeah, we will trust this thing, and then it will start creating using the Flutter tools and the templates. It is creating that specific project for us. Okay, the main so it is creating the projects. You can see the output here, and still working on it. So now it say that if you want to run that specific application, then you need to say that Flutter run. You need to run this command. So what I can do here, I can go into the terminal, or I can just go from here and then new terminal, and here I can say Flutter run. And when I do that, it will take a longer time. The reason is that we are first time compiling that thing, and it will take a little bit longer to compile all those things, combine everything together. And the other thing that no devices has been, uh, so if we look at that, we have the devices, and this is the actual emulator that we have been running here. So this is the emulator, okay? So if we select this medium, okay? So now we have selected the application. So we want to run that application on this specific medium. So we have selected that one. You can see that here, and it will take a little bit longer time before it can start running. So let me pause and then come back once it. So now you can see that it has a license package of the native development NDK, preparing the install NDK. It is done. So now it is running the Gradle and then assemble. So in the meanwhile, it is compiling that whole thing. So if we look at our project structure, so it has different type of libraries. We have a Dart tools, we have IDEA, and then this is the folder where Android specific files has been created. Okay, and the here in the iOS, it's iOS specific files. Here we have the Linux specific files. If we are targeting that platform to build the application, we have a Mac, we have web, we have Windows. But what we are interested here is this specific file. This is a main Dart file, which is a starting point of that our project. And this project actually, this is we will be working mostly at this lib file. Here we are going to create our own user interfaces, our own files, and then we can use them here. How we will see during this course, but this is the file which actually being this is a project that we have here. So we will be working mostly here. If you are an expert user, then you can open up and then do some specific things, make some changes, which for the Android, if you are comfortable changing the things for the iOS, then you can go there and then so on. But we will be working mostly here in that folder. So it is still, trying to creating all those compiling and the things. So if I look at that, if you are familiar with the Java programming, in the Java we have main, and whenever you want to run an application or run a program, it always start with the main function. So this is like a main function inside the Dart, and here we say run the application, and this is our what you can say that application um, uh, class, and that is running here. Okay, so let me quickly bring up our Android. So if you can see that our application, which has been here, it is being running. So we can click on that. We can see how many times we have clicked on that. So it is running here. The other thing that I would like to show you here is that if I just quickly stop that application. So if I just try to be like this one, so that you can see the emulator as well as the code here. So if because we are running through the terminal, so we can say Control C. But definitely, if you want to run that again, first time when you're running, we need to do a lot of setup, starting things and installing the background compiling and all tools. So if now we can just simply select our target from these, which target we want to build the application, and then we can run on that one. So when I do that, it automatically or click on this debug button, start debugging. So it will open up and start running that application on my Android device. So yep, now this time it is very quick rather than, we don't need to wait a long time. And then you can see that our application is still running. So the other thing is we can stop it from here. If you want to hot reload, this is a button for the hot reload. If you make some changes in the code, then you can just click on that. It will automatically show up here. So let me stop it here and then show you that we can use, I mean, we have not changed anything in our code. So now let me select the Chrome as our target and then run that button again. And if you, we are now actually, we are running the same application. We are building the same application for a web platform. So it will run our application inside the Chrome as a website. So let me quickly, hopefully it will quickly come up. Yep, it is coming up on my other screen. So you can see that it is first Flutter app, the same code base. We have not changed a single thing inside our, and if you look at it, it says running it on the local host that, and then again, it will give you the same functionality. So if I just close it down, so you can see that it finish it. So let me show you one more thing. If I window desktop application, if I want to build that Windows desktop application, because we are on the Windows, yes, we can do that. Again, we click on the start debug button. Then what will happen? It will create a desktop application for Windows and run it. Okay, so there is some errors. It means that Flutter Doctor for more details. It means that we need to, in the setup, we need to do something over there. So as you can see that we can run the application for the Android devices. We can also run the application for the web. For the Windows, we need to do some Visual Studio tool chains, which has not been done yet. So once we do that, then we can run the application, or we can develop the application for the Windows as well. So we will see, we will try to figure out that thing in the next video. That's for all for this lecture. So I hope you enjoyed your time here with me, and thank you very much, and see you in the next lecture.